Okay, we are going to go over how I set up the AI system. As you can see here, they come in, they attack. You're able to attack them, and they will strafe, and you're able to execute them. So that is what we are going to go over today. Okay, welcome to devlog number 2 for Shields of Asgard. I'm going to go over how I set up the enemy for the game. I'll have a wish list link down below so you can wish list the game. That'll definitely help it out. It is on Steam. And can you like and subscribe to the channel? I'm going to be putting up some tutorials on how I did some things. So let's go over how I set up the enemy. I have an enemy AI controller. So I did a perception system with it. As you can see here, set up the perception system. And with that, I did the configuration inside C++. And for now, these are just hard-coded in. I'm going to change those around and make them blueprint, read-write in the future. But for right now, this is good enough to get the demo out. And we have an on-target detected. If the target is detected, the stimulus is active, and then we enter combat, and then we'll exit combat. So when you enter combat in the enemy CPP, it just sets it to the combat state. And over here, this is how I set up the AI system. I'm not using behavior trees, or I think it's state machine events, something like that. That's something new in Unreal Engine 5. Now in Unreal Engine 4, I used behavior trees and I created C++ tasks. But I did it a little bit different for this one. I'm going to rewrite this and just put everything in enemy, and then I'm going to create some classes for some of the logic that I have inside here and separate it a little bit. But this is how I have it set up. And then for the melee enemy, if we go into the tick, this is how I have it set up. So on tick is a switch statement. This is going to be set up differently within the state machine pattern for the AI system. We have like current state, combat, and then we have strafe, and then patrol, and then dead. So if we are in combat, we move to the player, things like that. So yeah, so let's say we go into move to player, we move to the player, and then we will on move completed. If the move is completed, then it comes down here and it will go through, it will check the distance for the attack distance that's set up, because some melee is a little bit shorter than others. Like a dual wield cannot have the distance that a two-hander can, things like that. So I just check the distance and the attack distance, and then I just go into melee here, and we just play the melee montage. And then we reset the melee attack. We go back into the combat state and then reset the attack, strafe, generate random float between 0 and 1. This is just a random float if like you have 25% chance for the enemy to strafe, or 50 or 75, 100. I might do this a little bit different, but this is how I have the enemy AI system set up. And if we go into the editor, now if we go in here to the enemy, and then we go to the melee enemy, which we have the enemy class here, and then we have melee enemy that extends from that. You can come in here and create blueprint class based on melee enemy, which this is going to be rewritten, and you can create your blueprint class. And if we go to the blueprint class, you can see here when I scroll down, we have here combat. And I can set up the attack montage, strafe focus. Does the enemy focus the player when it's strafing? We have a strafe chance of 1, so that's like 25%. And then we have, let's go ahead and set that up a little bit more so when I show you how it strafes. We have attack distance and acceptance radius, patrol radius. We have projectile blueprint. I'll go over that. I'll create a tutorial how I set up the Archer system for projectiles. And we have a default state. It's an idle, or we can go into patrol, or we can set whatever state we want when the game starts. And we have enemy name, forest troll, that's above the nameplate. We have damage health, max health, impact sound, and we have stunnable is the enemy. Stunnable, there's a shield slam that will knock back the enemy, stun them. Can the enemy be executed? And of course we have a hit montage, impact Niagara. I did a tutorial on how I did that. That's pretty easy. We have a dash. So dash attack, the distance. How far away is it from the player that you'll do a dash attack? And I'm going to redo that into a little bit different of how the enemy dashes and how they actually dash. It's going to be better, because right now it's not. It's working, but it's not working how I would like it. We have a dash. We have a dash roll, player attacks, true or false, and then we have the montage. So this logic is not set up. However, it's going to be in the beginning. In the beginning, the enemy is going to be a little bit easy, and towards the end of the demo, the enemy is going to be a lot harder, and the enemy will be able to like dash or dodge roll the player attacks it. And then I'm going to have it set up so where there'll be another option here to choose from, like a scale of 1 to 10. Is there a 10% chance for it to dash or roll, or is it like a 30% chance? Things like that. So that's how I have that set up. Let's compile and save. And we'll go into the editor and show you some combat. And this is the shield maiden I have set up. So when you enter this, right now it saves the health, stamina, and rage system, because I have a rage system set up. So as you do damage and take damage, you build rage. It's going to be a builder spender. Okay, we are going to go over how I set up the AI system. As you can see here, they come in, they attack. You're able to attack them. And they will strafe, and you're able to execute them.